This is Sam Stone, CBR.com. Guys, how's it going?
Good. How are
Good.
you?
Pretty good, pretty good. Lovely day here in our nation's capital. Very autumnal and all that. Uh,
Lovely.
let's start with let's start at the beginning. I mean, season five, the band's back together. Like season five, like Naomi was off ship. She was off the Rossi
Mhm.
until the very end. So how is it like coming back together? You've got Amos, you've got Bobby. How is it coming back together as an ensemble for season six?
It was quite fabulous,
Mm.
actually. It felt like the right way to end this journey, this saga that we've all been part of creating. Obviously very bittersweet because it's the end, but um, given that the nature of season six and the circumstances we come together in, it was quite juicy to play out, but also great outside of the show to be together for this last season for sure.
It was amazing.
Mm.
It was like, I just um we are all so tight. I mean, in real life, we're so close as a group, and um it was just a lovely way to culminate the end of this really beautiful long journey that we've all
Mm.
devoted so much and committed so much to over the years, together as a group. It was awesome.
Mm.
Awesome.
With that in mind, going into this, knowing this was going to be the last ride of the Rocinante, like, was there anything that you wanted, like any moments or any directions you wanted to push your characters with this last season that maybe you hadn't gotten to lean into as much of the previous seasons?
I really wanted to like kind of lean a little into Naomi and Amos's relationship and the kind of where it's at now, because I think, that kind of got left in a way to make room for all the other things that were going on. And so it was really nice to kind of address where they're at with this new kind of third entity of Clarissa that's been brought onto the ship that everyone's kind of just like a little bit, especially Naomi and Holden, are just enraged about. And just explore where they're at with each other, like in terms of trust and respect and how it's changed. So that was really cool because I think it really signals the evolution of both the characters of where they are in this season. I think also Naomi and Holden's relationship really gets the kind of treatment it deserves in this final season. And it's my favorite arc of theirs. So yeah.
Likewise, I really loved my favorite scenes of the year were working with Tom on the Holden and Naomi dynamic this season. I think their relationship is so unique, and it's evolved in such a beautiful way. There's some really powerful moments for the both of them throughout the year, and leaning into that and the kind of struggle of empathy and responsibility to family and the overarching kind of macro environment, pulls on them in such dramatic ways, and yet they kind of cling to each other and they manage to find their way through, and then it ends with this really elegant note, that, I mean, the writing's always been so spectacular. It's just for me reading it and portraying it, it was just spot on to how I always wanted it to end. So
Sure, yeah.
yeah.
Dominique, the last couple seasons for Naomi in particular, not that, I mean, everybody goes through the ringer on the Expanse. Nobody has the Disney World experience really, but but the past couple seasons for Naomi, bringing in Marco, bringing in Philip, bringing in all these characters. I mean, even when they aren't in the scene with Naomi, and they aren't for this season, but when their presence is felt, they weigh heavily on her. How is it kind of having that in your back pocket and kind of delivering that, I mean, there's a lot of unresolved pain there and a lot of unresolved trauma throughout that season.
I mean, it's delicious to play as an actor, having that kind of backstory woven into the present day seasons. And it is so heavy, it's so weighted. So it's not difficult to draw on because it's so fleshed out. Like, I've always felt she's so full as a character, even from season one. Like, I knew all this obviously about her son and who Marco is to the solar system and what she had to do to escape. And that's always kind of fueled all of her choices and her morals and her beliefs so beautifully, like with the way they've written her, that I just have always felt all of the layers of her. And season 6 is no different, you know, it's a different level of it, like this kind of exploration of motherhood and the choices she's had to make as a mother. And again, that again is very difficult and kind of gnarly throughout season 6 because of the nature of who a boy and a baby dad are. But yeah, it was challenging in the best way. But again, I just feel like telling this woman's story and honoring it, and for all the other mothers out there who don't get to see their kids or about to make these difficult decisions, has been a joy. So again, I just feel very kind of happy that I got to tell this kind of ending bit of her story.
Jim Holden's always been the reluctant leader. He's gone from like, the beginning of the series, he's just like working with an ice transport ship. And then suddenly this is the war season. You're a wartime general in this season. Yeah. How is it tracking this kind of reluctant hero kind of going into the fate of the entire species by the end of the series?
It has been the greatest joy of my professional life. And I legitimately mean that. Like it's incredibly rare to be able to work on an arc so vast for so long with the kind of writing that we have. It's an incredible privilege, you know, and I always hoped that we would be able to finish because I knew how long the arc was and how vast it was. And to be able to play the evolution of a leader in a very realistic way, growing through all of his failures and stumbles and learning through humility to becoming not only a leader, but a different kind of leader than we normally see in film and TV. You know, one that's built on empathy and who learns from his mistakes. And and I think the final action by him speaks so much to what he becomes is a man who leads through his own sense of empathy. And it's been incredible. It's been incredible to play it all these years.
As somebody that's grown up in DC, yeah, in terms of leadership, the past 5 years have been wild.
Yes.
Yeah. So, with to go on a lighter note, the writers have talked about, potential futures or spin-offs or places to maybe take the world of the Expanse left. Having said all that, would you be open to coming back to this world and the creators that characters that you've created?
For sure. I mean, I don't want to get my hopes up. Like, that's the thing, is that like I feel immensely proud of what we've made. Like we have a beginning, middle, and end. We've got a complete story, and we were able to do it on our own terms. If this is the end, I'm immensely proud.
I think I feel the same. I'm like, it would depend on the context for me, because I don't want to ruin this legacy. I'm like, I'm so proud of what we've done. And I'm like, this was just completing this thing is just so incredible to do as an actor, and completing this body of work. I'm like, I wouldn't want to ruin that, if that makes sense. But I do want to see a drummer spin-off show. So I'd love that to happen.
I'll bring it up to Kara. Well, thanks for taking the time, guys. Season 6 is a joy. I think it's going to deliver on everybody's expectations. It certainly delivered on mine.
Thank you.
Thanks. Have a happy holidays and good end of the year.
You too, man. You too. Thanks a lot.
Bye.